Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos. Gonna invite us. I know, but if you want to come a little closer, sit next to someone you don't know and say hi. That's what a gift to be able to come into space, into Shabbat with Rachel and Mindy. We'll begin together on page 10.
Yedid nefesh av rachaman, av rachaman, mishochavtecha el ritzonecha, el ritzonecha. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, av harachaman, meshochavecha el ritzonecha, el ritzonecha. Yarutz avdecha kemo aya ishtachave el mul hadarecha. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, av harachaman. Meshochavdecha el ritzonecha, el ritzonecha. Yarutz avdecha kemo aya ishtachave el mul hadarecha. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, av harachaman, meshochavdecha el ritzonecha, el ritzonecha.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Oh, I'm glad to see you. Hello. Is there anyone who's here for the very first time so we can welcome you? Welcome.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome. Good Shabbos. Welcome. Good Shabbos. So happy to have you here. It's brave to raise your hand. Thank you. How good to have you here.
And can I add that
Yes, please.
there's a contingent from McAllister College.
Is that?
Mindy and my alma mater. That's Latin.
That's really thrilling.
Yes.
It's a multilingual service here at Shir Tikva. You never know what language you'll hear. If you're from McAllister, will you say hi? Where are you from? Hello, McAllister people. Yay. So happy you're here. Oh, great. This is so
they're happy.
Wow, many proud alums. That's wonderful.
right.
Welcome. And I think I'm glad. Thank you so much for, is there anyone who's here for the first time in a long time who's like, oh, Shir Tikva, I remember this. It's been a while. No, okay. I ask this because I want to say something out loud, which I say often, but it feels really important, especially when I get to lead with Rachel and Mindy, because Rachel brings a lot of melodies that she writes to Shul, which means it's bespoke. We have a bespoke Shabbat service. Melodies that are not being sung anywhere else in the country, except for some of them because they've traveled. Yet. No, to say that I've taught some of them to my friends, so I know they're being sung elsewhere. However, like the invitation that I want to make as we come into Shabbat is, how do we welcome Shabbat when perhaps we're in a space for the very first time, or we're coming into space, moving from whatever this week has held for you, and encountering melodies that may or may not feel like home yet. We sing in Psalm 96, Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash. We sing to God a new song. And I want to offer us that as our kavanah, as we sing melodies, that we offer them out like this is the way we're greeting Shabbat. This is the way we're opening to rest. And the playful, slightly anarchic invitation to you is don't worry about singing well. Leave that to Rachel and Mindy. Don't worry about sounding right, because this world wants us to sound right all the time. And there's actually, and I think that part of the organizing principle of Shir Tikva actually is us getting to say, no, we sound right just the way we are, thank you. We get to sing our new song every week, grounded in the depth of dignity and courage and fierceness and creative harmonies, right? Interpretive harmonies that we might offer to the world. We don't have to hold back until we have it all right. And that's maybe one version of rest. There's so many different versions, thank God, but maybe one version of rest is relaxing the rigor to get it all right before we make the noise that is ours to make. So that's the invitation. I hope that this space fills, which has been filled with songs, Shir Tikva songs since 1994, and with other songs, sacred songs before that from another community, right? Since the late 1800s. So let's just imagine how many voices have filled this space with song. And tonight it's our voices that are pouring forth. So yesher koach to all of your beautiful compositions. And yesher koach to you, dear community, for being the Levi'im, for being the sweet and soulful choir that pours forth our voices in praise. So we get to greet Shabbat with blessing on page 2, and I'm going to invite up Dexter to come help us light candles tonight. Dexter, who rises in honor of having joined the Jewish community in this last week, and we're so thrilled to get to bless you tonight. Yay. Okay, my dear, you get to use the magic wand. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner להדליק נר של Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Dear Dexter, I want to bless you with a life of learning, delightful, inspired, surprising learning. I spoke to a number of rabbis who have had the delight of getting to learn with you, and the first thing they said about you, both Rabbi Joey and Jace said, Dexter is such an exquisite student, just a passionate, brilliant student. And so I pray that in your life, in this beautiful Jewish life that stretches before you, that you find so many opportunities to learn and to teach, to learn tradition, and also to innovate and create traditions of your own that will get passed down to those yet to come. Mazal tov, and welcome home. Yay. So let's turn together to page 12. We'll welcome Shabbat together. Adema Fanav Betoda Naisiro Nari Alo. Let us praise Adonai, creator of mountains, the depths of the sea and the land. Sing praises to God, whose power is all around us. Come sing with joy to God. Come sing with joy to God. We'll continue on page 13. Shir Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Adonai Kol Haaretz, Shir Adonai Barechu Shemo Basru Miyom Leyom, Yeshuato. Shir Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Adonai Kol Haaretz, Shir Adonai Barechu Shemo Basru Miyom Leyom, Yeshuato. Shir Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Adonai Kol Haaretz, Shir Adonai Barechu Shemo Basru Miyom Leyom, Yeshuato. Shir Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Adonai Kol Haaretz, Shir Adonai Barechu Shemo Basru Miyom Leyom, Yeshuato. Shir Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir Adonai Kol Haaretz, Shir Adonai Barechu Shemo Basru Miyom Leyom, Yeshuato. We'll turn together to page 19. We'll sing these first words, kindling fire, that are found on the top of page 19.
The prayer for the Northern Lights, too.
Nice.
Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh. Adonai Oz Lamo Yitain, Adonai Yivarech et Amo Bashalom, Adonai Oz Lamo Yitain, Adonai Yivarech et Amo Bashalom. Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai. No, I go Adonai and you start Kol.
Oh,
Go for it. Got it? Ready? You ready? Adonai.
Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lahavodesh.
kodesh, kol Adonai, chotzeh v'havot esh.
Let's turn together to our blue sheets. We'll sing Ana B'choach as we release into Shabbat.
Ana b'choach gedulat yemincha, tatir tzerura, tatir tzerura, kavel rinat amcha, sagveinu, tahareinu, nora. Ana b'choach gedulat yemincha, tatir tzerura, tatir tzerura, kabel rinat amcha, sagveinu, tahareinu, nora. Ay, 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 oh, ay, 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 oh, ay, 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 oh, ay, 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 oh. I believed in solid ground, till I saw the earth in motion, in the wind of steady change, and in the ever-rolling ocean. Ana b'choach gedulat yemincha, tatir tzerura, tatir tzerura, kavel rinat amcha, sagveinu, tahareinu, nora.
We'll turn together to page 20. Get ready to greet Shabbat with Lecha Dodi. We sing a love song. And as we reach the 9th verse, you'll be invited to rise, to root, and if you wish to go out onto that very warm 50th Street, which I know globally we're concerned about, but can we just enjoy? Can we hold? We're good. It's like the whole world is created for us, and we are but dust and ashes. We're terrified, but let's go enjoy. Great.
Yeah, I'm gonna change that. Here we go. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hayuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet ve'elitila, lecha Dodi, likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך הללוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט במלך הבכה, והוא יחמון עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. תתנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי. על יד בן ישי בית ללחמי, כל האל נפשי גאולה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תטעמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהבי. בחפצו אני אעמי, ונבנתה עיר על טיבה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשי שושייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך. יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כי סוף קטן על קטן. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני Shabbat
Woo. Good Shabbos, everyone. Page 28. Let's rise and root as we call each other to prayer. On page 30, we bless light and darkness and the transitions between day and night. I invite you to spend a few moments in the English, in the Hebrew, in the interpretations on page 31. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech Umavir yom umevir laila umavedir ben yom uven laila Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Hamayim v'aravim. On page 32, we bless enduring love. אהבת עולמי תשאל עמך, התורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני. קומנו ונשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו Israel. Please rise and root on page 34. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch shekevod malchuto leolam va'ed. seated, we'll turn to page 37 and sing this English interpretation of the Ve'ahavta.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gates. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem,
Let's turn to page 40.
Yeah, okay. There you go. Good old Dan Nichols. Here we go.
Baruch Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Let's turn together to page 42 as we pray for protection, for peace, for shalom.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shomecha, v'takmenu be'etza tova milfanecha, ufros aleinu sukat shomecha, v'takmenu be'etza tova milfanecha. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shomecha, v'takmenu be'etza tova milfanecha.
We'll rise and root on page 44 as we sing this dedication to Shabbat.
V'shemru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, la'asot et HaShabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We'll turn together to page 46 as we begin our Amidah with a kavanah aloud, and then you'll have time in quiet for the words of the Siddur and the words of your heart. Adonai, Sefatai Tifta, Ufi Akid, Tehiratecha, Adonai, Sefatai Tifta, Let's pray for healing of body, for healing of spirit. We'll turn to page 253 and sing a prayer for healing, and then we'll pause, and I'll invite you please to share names of people that you're praying for. Maybe it's yourself. Maybe it's someone close to you. Maybe it's someone you're holding who's far away, but we can offer our prayers. And if you're on Zoom, please share names in the chat so we can hold people with you. Mi shebeirach avotenu bekor haberacha leimotenu. Bless the source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Today we're praying for
Bill Cooper, Harvey Zuckman.
Mi shebeirach imotenu mekor haberacha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So this week we're reading Parshat Chayei Sarah, which is a parsha which feels like the aftermath, the stunned quiet that follows upheaval. Now it comes on the heels of Parshat Vayera last week, which is arguably one of the most epic parshiot in Torah. There are angels at the tent flap, there are impossible births, cities are overturned, a woman is turned to salt, a mother and child are exiled, a knife is raised above a beloved son, and a ram emerges from the thicket, as if from the first breath of creation, and that was all in 1 week. So now here we are, Parshat Chayei Sarah. There are no angels, no pillars of salt, no children saved from sacrifice, just loss and love. Torah begins not with cataclysm, but with intimate death, not with drama of a test, but the rawness of grief. Vatomat Sarah, Sarah dies, and Abraham, bewildered, rises, only to search for a place to bury her. These first few verses of our parsha feel like someone is trying to get their footing after losing a person who anchored their world, and Torah's grammar reflects this. The text cracks, syntax slips. The parsha begins with linguistic disorder, the Hebrew itself falling out of cadence, bucking rules, as if language itself cannot hold the weight of loss. Right after Sarah's death, we read, Vayavo Avraham lispod lesarah velivkota. Abraham mourns Sarah and literally cries her, not cried for her, which would make more sense after all. Ibn Ezra notes that livkota is a grammatical impossibility. It's made up of two words, livkot, to weep, and ota, her. The meaning of livkota is thus to weep her, an impossible rendering, as if Torah wants to say, when the ground gives way, grammar collapses. Grief is a kind of unlanguage, an undoing that we cannot rush. And the next verse slips again, Vayakom Avraham me'al pnei meto. Then Abraham rises from beside his dead. Meto, his dead one, is in masculine form, and when referring to Sarah, Torah could have said, mitato, from her death. Abraham is facing Sarah and also facing something more layered, mortality itself, maybe, his own bewildered sense of meaning in the face of what he's lost. And the next verse, Abraham addresses the Hittites, saying, Ger v'toshav anochi, I am stranger and resident. Ger v'toshav, I am stranger and a resident. And even Ezra clarifies, Ger is a foreigner and Toshav is someone who is settled. So what is Abraham saying? The Torah lets these two ideas sit side by side in Abraham's mouth. And Ramban explains that Abraham's meaning might be, I am from elsewhere and yet I dwell here. I belong and I don't belong. This is my home and also not my home. Abraham is suspended between worlds. And Rashi comments that this parsha speaks out of safek, out of doubt, out of the condition of suspended animation, the knowledge that everything we love is contingent and tremulous. Existence itself feels like a fragile balance between dizzying possibilities. Abraham, freshly home from Mount Moriah and the Akedah, now in the pits of his grief, departs from binaries and exists in the in-between. And yet, it is precisely this parsha, this fragile, destabilized narrative, that is used as a proof text for Jewish settlement in Hebron. It is verses from this story, from the verses that follow immediately after the ones that I've just shared, where Abraham purchases land from the Hittites in Kiryat Arba in Hebron to buy Sarah, to bury Sarah, that are graffitied in Hebrew on the sealed streets of Shuada Street in the old city of Hebron. It is on this week each year when Jewish extremist settlers in the West Bank escalate violence against Palestinians in and around Hebron. Just 2 days ago, a mosque was set on fire by violent settlers in the village of Deir Istia in the West Bank. On Tuesday, dozens of settlers took part in a massive arson attack on Palestinian agricultural facilities in Beit Lid, destroying a dairy factory and damaging the Bedouin village of Deir Sharaf. And just 2 days earlier, settlers attacked Palestinian harvesters and activists with sticks and rocks in Beita, injuring 10 people, and at least one had to be hospitalized. And these incidents follow on the heels of settler violence last week, when 2 armed settlers attacked a group of Palestinian farmers and rabbis and cantors and volunteers from Rabbis for Human Rights, and standing together using a drone and firing live ammunition. Thank God no one was seriously injured. Many in our own community have accompanied Palestinians in the South Hebron Hills, protecting orchards during the olive harvest, walking the shuttered streets of the old city of Hebron. And I traveled back looking at maps while writing this drasha, and I feel in my own body an ache of love for that land and for the people that I have met doing solidarity work. This is a teaching that is offered in love for the people who persist, and the ache of how the stakes seem so stacked against us. The situation is devastating and has been for many years, and it has grown more dire. The number of Jewish extremist settlers is growing, emboldened by the current government, and they're becoming more aggressive, bringing violence and intimidation in an effort to push Palestinians off their land. So this parsha, the story of Abraham acquiring land for burial in the hands of settlers, becomes a rallying cry for dispossession. It hardens boundaries. It creates sharp, dangerous categories of us and them that leave no space for dignity or relationship. And we cannot deny that our Torah, these very words that we're lifting up tonight, have been and continue to be used as tools of war and of dominance. This is not the innovation of this generation of settlers. They are building upon centuries of interpretations of the text. But woven into the grammar and poetry of Chayei Sarah is a counter-narrative, a Torah of borderlands, where Abraham is both ger and toshav, both belonging to the land and also a guest upon it, like everyone else. Borders are set up to define the places that are safe and unsafe, to distinguish us from them. Gloria Ansaldúa wrote in Borderlands, La Frontera. A border is a dividing line, a narrow strip along a steep edge. A borderland is a vague and undetermined place created by the emotional residue of an unnatural boundary. It is a constant state of transition, The prohibited and forbidden are its inhabitants. So Abraham, me'al pnei meto, confronting the vertigo of life and death, inhabits precisely this kind of borderland. His words convey instability, the dizzying symmetry of multiple possibilities. He is both ger and toshav, both stranger and resident at once. He comes into relationship with those around him with that humility, seeking relationship and dignity for himself and those around him. Even as he seeks to create a resting place for Sarah, he becomes in his grief a dweller of the borderlands. And we, students of Torah in a time of razor-sharp borders and charged binaries, are asked, how do we resist the calcification of us, them? How do we refuse interpretations of Torah that justify domination? How do we dwell instead in the vulnerable places where categories loosen and truth emerges through relationship? Gloria Ansaldúa writes that we must create a new mythos, a transformation of how we see reality, each other, and ourselves. And she wrote this in the 80s. We've had years to practice, God willing. She writes that we must uproot the dualism that's woven into our culture and consciousness if we hope to end entrenched violence and domination. She writes that this possibility of transformation lies in healing the split that originates in the very foundation of our lives, our culture, our language, our thoughts. So this Shabbos, may we make ourselves dwellers of the borderlands. May this parsha loosen the borders that we have inherited, and may it call us back into relationship with land, with people, with our tradition, through the vulnerable honesty of grief and the courage of the messy, vibrant in-between. Shabbat Shalom. Can we bless each other? Let's bless each other. I invite you to use your blue sheets if you wish. We'll sing, and then I'll invite our friends on Zoom to offer blessings in the chat. Hamalach hagoel oti, hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et hane'arim, vayikarev bahem shemi, v'shem avotai, v'shem avotai, Avraham v'Yitzchak, v'yidgul harov b'kerev haaretz. Yisimchem Elohim kesara, kerivka, kerachel u'chelea, כפריים וכי מנשה, יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. יללי, יללי, May those of us who are non-indigenous remember that we are residents and aliens in this land. May we stop the violence, just stop. May we work with others for peace in the land that is holy to us and to others. May we be blessed with love one for the other. May we see in one another the familiar strangeness that helps us cooperate. May we learn to heal the hatred and pain of past generations. May we remember that borders are violence. May we lishuv in places strange to us and see ourselves as and the same as the stranger, even in places familiar to us. May we have love and patience with ourselves as we live in the messiness. May those who speak out and put their bodies on the line be blessed with strength and appreciation. May we acknowledge the truth of our tradition, warts and all, own it even as we effort to change it. We are safe in the borderlands where we can embrace the complexities of real life and stay away from extreme thinking. May we find the similarities in others and not the differences. May we find the borders between black and white. May we find and build home without being possessive and exclusive about place and land. Ken yehi ratzon yalalai, yalalai, ay, ay. La la la, yalalai, ay, lai, 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 lai. Ay, la la la, lai, lai. Ay, lai, lai, lai. Yasher koach to our sweet Zoom minion. And also Yasher Koach to our community. I want to honor the learning, the grieving that we're doing. I mean, the framework of Me'al Pnei Meto, like beholding the grief, beholding the death. I think we feel in our bodies, many of us, having lived through these last years as Jews on this planet. And I just want to honor the learning that we're doing and the learning to bridge and to say our questions and our prayers aloud. Yasher koach. May we continue to teach each other with gentleness and fierceness both. So I'm going to invite us, please, to rise in body and spirit on page 284 for Aleinu, for Vehashivota. Vehashivota el vavecha ki Hu Elohim v'hashevota el vavecha ki havaya hi Elohim v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. You may be seated. It's the tradition in our community to pause before saying Kaddish, to sing Oseh Shalom together, holding open prayer for peace and a grief for all of the people who have been killed since October 7th in Israel-Palestine. Oseh Shalom bimromav, uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, yaseh Shalom, yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh Shalom, yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, imru, amen. It's the tradition in our community to share the names of our community's list, people that our community are grieving. If I come to the end of this list and I've not read the name of your loved one, please raise your hand at that point and I'll come to you with a microphone and I'll invite you to share. As I read names, raise your hand and I can also come to you if you would like to share a brief story about the person that you're remembering. So we're in Shloshim. Oh, Mindy's gonna come? That's so nice. Thanks, Mindy. Mindy will come to you, so really raise your hand, because she might not know you. If do it for me, but do it for Mindy. We're in Shloshim in the first 30 days since the death of Colleen Westland, mother of Bonnie and grandmother of Tristan Houle. Sally Adler, mother of Harry. And Mark Schonenbaum, beloved member of Shir Tikva and husband of Jeanette George. We observe the yahrzeits of Steve Baseman, uncle of Lisa Brownstein. Donna Becker, grandmother of Julie Jacobs. I'm actually closer.
Yeah, my grandma, she was 96 when she died, and so I'm just going to tell this story because some of you haven't heard it, but I never came out to my grandmother, and after my son came home, he was adopted, my former partner and I were in Toledo, where my parents live, and my grandma was holding Gabe on her lap. And she said, he is so lucky to have two mommies. And that just sums up who she was.
Joe Edelstein, father of Scott. Patty Flanagan, sister of Mary Hartman.
Oh, I definitely want to say something.
You better. You better.
Holy cow. Patty is my younger sister, well, the youngest of the four girls. And we had lost another sister before that, a year before. So little Patty, Patty Flanagan, there's three things you should know about Patty. Number one, she was my best fun sister. We were the fun sisters. And when she was in the hospital and she was not living, you're going to live, and she was, kind of had a stroke, and I came in and said, it's your fun sister. And she went, ah. So I feel like we were connected till the end. And something else about Patty, she was proud of her daughter, Peggy Flanagan. When Peggy became the lieutenant governor and Patty was proud. Every day we would talk. And every morning we would call Patty, or she'd call us, and Billy would pick up a really dumb joke and tell a dumb joke to her that was clean enough that Patty could tell her granddaughter. But and so we started the day like that. I was proud of Patty for so many things: her loving kindness, her will to suffer, but just with such a grace. And by the way, she's the only one I know who can do the New York Times crossword puzzle in ink. So that's my Patty.
Thank you, Mary. Linda Gallet, beloved friend of Marian Eisner. Sandra Hagen Goldstucker, wife of Nancy Hagen Goldstucker.
Sandra and I fell in love at first sight. It took us 3 years to finally cement the glue or whatever. She had the most wry sense of humor, and I used to joke at her that I married my mother because my mother did also. And I wasn't going to say more than that, but as she was dying, she had cerebral palsy and spastic hemiplegia, and as she was dying, she quit being spastic. And it was the first time it was probably the first time since she was 2.5 years old, and it was amazing, and her death was amazing.
Robert Katz, father of Jerry, grandfather of Ravi and Charlie.
My dad was, he was a kind of meat and potatoes, mid-century American kind of guy, and he was very, very patriotic. He served in the Air Force. He was so proud of this country. He used to like to tell the same stories over and over and over, and one of them was, did you guys know I was a fighter pilot in the Air Force? And he was not a fighter pilot in the Air Force, but he had his picture he had his picture taken in front of a, I don't know, some kind of plane. But more interesting than that is that he was actually, the Air Force sent him to Russian language school, and during the Cold War, he had some kind of secret clearance, and he was stationed in Libya and would listen in to Russian pilots flying overhead and translate what they said. So I think that story is more cool than being a fighter pilot.
Jacob Kistner, father of Leslie Caffarelli. Mary Kramer, grandmother of Jackie. Is Leslie here? Okay. Jean Ornstein, father of Howard. Faye Ratner, aunt of Gail Zoffer. Harold Rubenstein, grandfather of Tasia Rosenfeld Kellen and father of Helen Rubenstein. Jim Cecil Jr., grandfather of Sarah Coleman. Beulah Shannon, aunt of Lisa Mayer. Joyce April Shapiro, grandmother of Sarah Glassman. Catherine Skadron Garfield, grandmother of Maury Hartman. Jerry Slav, mother-in-law of Neil Bloom. Dorothy Tain, mother of Jeffrey. And Mildred Zuckerman, mother of Jeff. I wonder, are there other people that you're remembering tonight?
Yesterday was 81 years since my uncle was killed in Battle of the Bulge, and I knew nothing about him. My mother never talked about him. And about a year ago, my brother and I went through a file that was about 6 inches thick of the search for Harvey, because he was first missing in action, and then he was dead, and then he was at one cemetery in France, and then he was at another, and da-da-da-da-da. And not only did I get to know my uncle as someone who adored my grandparents and wanted to go in, my grandfather had his own business and wanted to, run the business with my grandfather. But I also got to know my mom, and it was great.
So this is actually someone I never got the chance to meet, but my cousin Jared was born a few days after I was, but then a couple weeks after that he was born with like a heart defect, and so he passed away just a couple weeks after he was born. But it's just like, I've always kind of felt him with me kind of throughout my whole life, like all my milestones. It was always like, Jared would be here too if he was here. So that's just always been kind of special. I've just had a little ghost buddy almost. So.
So I actually never, this is about my cousin who I never met, but he died, I think it was about 1 week ago, as my mom called me. He passed away when he was 21, and I'm older than he was, which is very strange. But a story that I can tell is that he's like my guardian angel on my left shoulder. And when I was a kid, he came to me in my dreams and taught me how to skateboard. And I think that's really dope. So.
Hi, my name is Susie. My mom's yard site is coming up on the 20th, and I'm here in synagogue, and her name was Anna, and she had a heart of gold, and she too had 4 sisters, and she was one of the fun sisters. And there's a memory I can share. We were at my aunt's house, and my aunt Trudy wanted to make chicken soup for Passover, and so did my mom. So they asked us, whose chicken soup tasted better? And of course, we had to say both of them, but she taught me how to be kind, loving, and caring, and she had a great sense of humor, and I miss her and I love her, and thank you for having me here.
Hi, this is my first ever being in a synagogue and also here in Shabbat. I want to talk about my grandma who passed away 5 years ago around this time. It was when I came here the first time ever to the United States to go to McAllister as a freshman. She passed away from kidney cancer. I'm just remembering her today because I took an hour walk to here, also just to like relax. And I got some snack, and it's just suddenly remind me of how she would always like dote on me about having snacks before dinner. Because as a kid, I would just go out, get like, I don't know, like potato chips, and she would just be like, why would you do this? This is so unhealthy. She just wanted me to have like healthy food, and yeah, I'm just remembering her. Yeah.
This isn't a memory, but McAllister Sr., Binta, died this week very suddenly in an accident, and I don't have a memory to share, but I just felt like I needed to say something.
Tonight I'm remembering my Uncle Kenny. It's been about 4 years since he died. He was like one of those family friends that's an uncle, you know, and he was frankly a better friend than my father ever deserved, and he was a better man than either of my parents' biological brothers, and my hometown is worse for his absence.
I'm saying Kaddish tonight for my best friend, Jed Miller, who died 14 years ago of Parkinson's disease. He was 56, and he suffered tremendously, and he was probably one of the fiercest spiritual seekers I've ever met. And in the midst of tremendous, tremendous suffering, he made it very clear to me, to all of his friends, that he had come to peace in a way with his illness that he was completely surprised by, like he was completely not expecting that he would ever find this kind of peace of mind. So we all knew that when his time came and he actually died, that he had actually found the peace that he'd been searching for his whole life.
Oh my gosh. So I was wondering why was the service going so fast, and now I understand. We needed to tell stories.
In a small world, I too am remembering Binta. Tomorrow night, my hockey team is going to be playing McAllister, and there will be a moment of silence. We were notified of that earlier, and I wanted to bring her in this room as well, because McAllister has been Team Trans's best friend. They've always supported us and just been ready for a super friendly game.
My great-grandmother, Isabel Loeb, died 11 years ago this month. I think of her every time I'm here at services because she taught me and all of her great-grandchildren and grandchildren and children to light the Shabbos candles to the Hanukkah tune. And so I grew up singing the song that way, and would come to temple and sing a different version than the one that we sang at home. And I'm reminded of that every week. But she sang it beautifully, and it was really special.
Okay, dear community, I'm going to invite us please to rise en route. We'll say Kadisha Tom, which is found on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyom echon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'lamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dukudsha brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen. You may be seated. It's my honor to invite up Ginny to the bima, who is our usher. Can we all say thank you, Ginny? We're so grateful to offer some announcements on behalf of the community. Here you are.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to those of you who are here for the first time, and welcome to everybody who's here for the manyth time. Thank you for everybody for being with us tonight. It's a joy to be together. It gives me great solace to be in community with you after a hard week at McAllister College. At the end of the service, please return the prayer books to the usher table, and we'd be grateful, would be grateful if you separate the song sheets from the Sederim, please. Thank you. Mazel tov to Dexter Heinen. Woo! Thank you to everyone who has made tonight possible. Rabbi Ariel, Rachel, Mindy, Gordon, Sam, the Macomb Minion, Julie Jacobs, and Lori Sweet. Thank you to me, Usher Ginny, Shomer Jonah, and Security for your steady presence. I'm grateful to have you here. Find all of our Shir Tikva programming updates in the weekly e-news and on the website. If anybody's not getting those, I'm sure there's a way to get them into your email, so let us know. Next week's Shabbat service will be a mask-required service. If this isn't the best fit for you, please join us on Zoom. And just a reminder that this community is here to support you, so please reach out to our rabbis if you encounter a life change so that they can activate the Shir Tikva network of support. I will also put a plug in for ushering. It has been a delight to be in this spot with all of you. And I've been in that sign up, and there's a lot of gaps. So feel free to put your name out there, because I'll tell you what, it's a good time. Thank you all very much, and again, Shabbat Shalom.
Our executive director, Jessica Markuson, is smiling wherever she is right now. You just plugged to volunteering. All right, Alma. Alma is going to be a helper. Hold the grape juice. Good luck, Almies. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lemasei v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher lisiat Mitzrayim Ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu kidashta im kol ha'amim v'shavat kodshecha ve'ahava u'veratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Could you try that? Could you take a sip? Thank you. You could drink the whole thing. Your sister left. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon. Is this a Luna challah? So that we are going to be adding someone new to our thank you list, which is Luna, who is baking chalot for us every Friday. How old is Luna? Exactly 11 years old. So bless this human being who helps us set up chairs. There's Luna, who's going to receive some praise. So let us, in a non-intense way, to say, thank you, Luna. Thank you, Luna. Well done. That was a very non-intense thank you. Yesher koach. It's a balance here we're trying to strike. Thank you so much. We're going to sing our way out. Good Shabbos, everyone. Would anyone like a piece of challah?
So, page 321. This is a Donolum. It's a setting that I had composed, and I'm just so grateful to this community. Everyone sings, and I love hearing your voices, and thank you. And if you don't know this melody, remember a Donolum is one of the most repetitious things that we sing. So
You'll learn it soon.
A Donolum, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nikra, V'yein Asah, L'chef Sokol, Azai Melech, Shelo Nikra, Ve'acharei Kifot HaKol, Levadoyim Lo, Nora, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hoveh, Vehu Yiyeh, V'tifarah. Vehu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Ve'hamshilo, Ve'havira, Ve'li Reshit, Ve'li Tachlit, Ve'lo Ha'oz, Ve'hamli Yisrael. Vehu Eli, V'chai Goli, V'tzur Chevli, Ve'et Sarah, Vehu Nisi, Umanosi, Ve'nakosi, Ve'yom Ekra, Ve'yado, Afkiruchi, Ve'eti Sham, Ve'ha'ira, Ve'imruchi, Yeviati, Adonai li, Ve'lo ira. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Susan.